This is Maren, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Angela. You've got episode 98, where we November check in. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. First, we want to say hi to everybody. We're back. We took a week off for Thanksgiving, so it seems like forever ago that I've been here, but it's only been a week. So we hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. We just wanted to say hello and welcome to all of our listeners. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for supporting us. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who support us every month, and then they get extra episodes and other fun stuff. So if you are interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. We have 2 new patrons, Mindy and Sarah. Welcome, Mindy and Sarah.
Welcome, Mindy and Sarah.
So glad to have you.
Thank you so much for supporting us.
Yep. So we just wanted to tell you a little bit about our podcast. If you're brand new, we do have lots of new listeners. So we just wanted to quickly give you a little explanation of our podcast. We're here to encourage you and to help you feel good about what you're already doing. Maren, you said this morning on Voxer, and it stuck with me, that there is a lie that we tell ourselves, which is that we need to be doing more.
Yes. It's like your number one lie, and we're here to debunk that.
Yeah, totally. So we're here to change that conversation a little bit around homeschooling and help you realize that what you are doing is enough, and help to encourage you in that you're doing.
Yeah, and really for us to kind of open our eyes to see that so much of what we do really is learning for our kids and for us. I mean, living life is learning. So much just happens in our everyday activities, and it's sometimes just noticing those things is our job as homeschool parents.
Right.
So we're here to be that voice for you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so today we have a big announcement before we get to all of our other stuff, and that is we have swag.
Woohoo!
Finally.
I'm wearing my swag right now.
I know. I wish you guys could see it.
Oh, yeah.
You have the hooded. You have a hoodie.
I have a hoodie.
Yeah, I didn't get the hoodie.
It is so warm.
Yeah.
And comfortable.
Yeah.
It's so we are opening the store on TeePublic, and you can get a couple of different kinds of sweatshirts. This is like the regular warm sweatshirt. I know there's a thin, light one too.
It's not the lightweight hoodie. It's the regular hoodie.
Yeah. This is the regular hoodie.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have swag on TeePublic, TeePublic.com. And you can get lots of different things like sweatshirts, t-shirts, coffee mugs.
Right.
You can get some weird stuff too. Stickers.
Tote bags. The sticker I'm really interested in because it looks perfect for my computer.
I got a sticker.
Water bottle.
I got a sticker.
Did you?
Yep.
Ooh.
I got a tote bag.
Nice.
Yep. I kind of went a little crazy. Because, it's
exciting.
I wanted to see, I had to see what it was like before I told everybody. I was researching.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But the actual site you can't just go to teepublic.com, I don't think. You have to go to TeePublic,
teepublic.com/user/homeschool unrefined.
Yeah.
We will put a link to that in the show notes. We will also be announcing it on social media with a link, so you can go there. You can also go to TeePublic and search for Homeschool Unrefined, and you can see our stuff there.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, if you're listening to this on Monday, the day this comes out, it's Cyber Monday. Everything's on sale at TeePublic today.
Yeah, it's like 30% off.
It's a sign.
Yeah. So you could do a little early Christmas shopping for yourself or others. You could get yourself something and wrap it up and put it under the tree just for you.
I do that all the time.
Yep. So
especially stocking stuffers.
Oh,
I mean,
you give yourself stocking stuffers?
I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never done that. But I would. I should. What? Why haven't I?
Who puts things in your stocking?
Nobody.
I'm the stocking stuffer at my house. So
mine's always empty.
Oh, that's so sad. I mean, so is mine normally, except for like the 2 things I put in, like chapstick or a pair of socks. But
that's a great idea. I don't know why I haven't done that. So,
okay. Put something fun in there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if you are interested, today is a great day to get that swag.
For sure.
And what are some of your, I'm just curious, what are a couple of your favorite items?
Yeah, well, I'm loving the hoodie.
Yes,
I think
for
this
sure.
is probably going to be my favorite thing.
Yeah.
They also have a tri-blend like soft t-shirt that I am probably going to get.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's, cold here, so
Yeah.
I might wait until the spring for that.
Yeah.
But those are probably going to be my favorite things. I also did get a mug.
Yeah.
So, and I know you got some mugs too.
Yeah,
What did you
I
think?
like the mugs. So we have a few
Yeah.
different styles of mugs, but we have our logo
Mhm.
on them, and then we have a couple of different taglines on either side. So you can have the logo and a tagline.
Yes.
And I like those taglines. One says change the conversation.
Yeah.
One says simple, real fun. And one says think differently about homeschool. So
I know.
I like those.
And I love those taglines so much that I want it on all of our swag now.
I know. Yeah. So
It makes me look like a little more of an edgier homeschool person.
okay. So
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of Cyber Monday, do you do Cyber Monday shopping?
I prefer Cyber Monday than Black Friday. I don't think I've ever gone shopping on Black Friday. I just don't like entering stores anyway. And then the fact that they would be full of people
Yeah.
trying to get probably the one thing that I wanted, I just I can't do that.
Yeah.
But Cyber Monday, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
For sure. But I try to just get whatever holiday gifts are on sale that day normally.
That you were gonna already get.
Right. I try to really stick to that. I think last year maybe I got a Vitamix.
Oh, you
That
did?
was kind of not a Vitamix. No. Blendtec. It was the
Blendtec.
Blendtec blender.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a great deal.
Yeah.
And it's probably been my favorite Cyber Monday purchase ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got it for my husband. But it's only because he's the one who makes smoothies for everybody all the time.
So it was legit getting it for him. It wasn't like you wanted it, so then you got it for him.
Totally not.
Oh, that's funny.
How about you?
I always like a good deal, and I'm like you. I do not go into the stores on Black Friday. I try to stay out of the stores the whole shopping season if I can.
Me too.
So I don't do that, but I do like Cyber Monday because I like a good deal. But it always sneaks up on me. I've heard of homeschoolers who take the day off.
And just
so they could shop online. And I thought that is a great idea because I usually try and sneak it in between things. And then I always feel like I'm missing stuff. So I feel like I need to have kind of a plan of attack.
Little game plan.
Yeah. So
do you have a list made up? Do you have things that you're going to start looking for?
No, but I need to do that. So
this weekend.
Yeah.
might have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got some homework to do.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking for, I'm hoping those little Echo dots go on sale.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to get those?
I might get a couple of those.
I think I'm going to get some too.
Mm-hmm.
For kids?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
I know. So, but we're really trying to, my husband's already had a talk with me about not going overboard on Christmas presents this year, because what I tend to do is, because we have birthdays and Christmas presents, I mean, it's just we have so many things going on in the next 2 months that I sometimes like to front load it and get everything ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I can enjoy the season. But then what happens is I keep shopping. I just think of one more thing. Yeah. I keep thinking, well, I never turn that part of my brain off anyway. So
yeah.
And then there's deals and whatever ads and things like that. So we're making a plan this year.
Good.
Oh, I made a plan.
Good.
And Sean thought it was a great idea that we just do, this thing that I've seen on social media that a lot of parents do, which is we're going to get each kid something they want, something they need, something to wear, something to read.
Good.
So 4 things each.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tricky
great.
for me, but I think it's going to be, very wise. And that's the message. I want to tell my kids, we don't need anything more than that. It's actually a lot.
It's a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more, if I ever get more than that, then it's just not great stuff anyway. It's just
right. Right.
throw stuff in the cart or whatever. But so I just want it to be more thoughtful and
right.
that, so,
right.
Yeah. How do you go about shopping?
I don't have a plan.
Yeah.
This is weird because I'm a J on the Myers-Briggs. I don't have a plan at all. I make a note in my phone of some ideas for each kid, and then I just start getting them. And then I cut myself off after a certain number, like, oh, everybody has 3 and they're about equal.
Yeah.
Stop now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Stop now.
So,
way to go.
Yeah.
You have constraint.
Yeah. Well
done.
Okay. We are going to move on to our November check-in, which
Yes.
we're doing this once a month. And so in case you haven't heard this before, basically we're going to talk about one thing that's going well, one thing that needs tweaking. We're going to do a self-care check-in, and then we are going to do a listener question.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these have been so helpful for both of us. And we've heard lots of good feedback too from you. And I just like this because this is something any of us would do with our friends if we got together and started talking about stuff. And so this is it's great. I love that we are starting this conversation, and hopefully more people are, jumping on this and sharing their things with either their friends in real life or online.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay. So, Maren, what is going well for you?
All right. So, ongoing saga, everyone, with my planning situation and how I plan homeschool. And I think this is always top of mind for me because, like you're a J. I am not a J on the Myers-Briggs. I am a P. I am not a very good planner. This is not my forte. So, planning is always going to be kind of, I don't know it's clumsy for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Planning is going to be clumsy for me always. So, but I feel like we've kind of hit a stride now, end of November.
Yep.
Kind of figuring this out. So my oldest has a planner.
Yeah.
She is in 6th grade, technically, and 11, almost 12 years old. So she loves her planner, and she gets to it every morning because it's her own. And she takes such, ownership in this planner. And I think it was when it was like a group plan, like a family plan, it was less individual for her. And she didn't feel like like it was her plan.
Yeah.
So the individual planner is so good for her.
That's great.
And then she can check things off and she feels great about it.
Yeah.
So, which is great because I'm not really that way. I don't, I'm not a checker offer normally. Yeah. So and she feels so good about it. So that's working great. And then, I had been doing, individual, weekly plans for all the kids where I just type out what they should do each day. We have pretty simple plans around here. So it was never a ton of things each day, maybe 3 or 4 things they needed to get done every day. And so that worked for a while just to keep me sane, I guess. And I've said this, in the last couple check-ins, like I needed that to help me block out all the other things we could be doing every day. And sometimes, it's noon and I'm like, we have 20 more things we could be doing today. And I just kind of have a little bit of a meltdown right in the middle of the day if I don't think we've done enough. So those individual plans really helped me focus for a long time and help me not freak out.
Yeah.
Now I feel like because I got to that place, now I feel like I can just put things on the board for the rest of my 3 younger children.
The whiteboard.
The whiteboard.
Okay.
So, yep, exactly. Thanks. So, so now it's just, we put those things on the board every day because that helps. It does help everybody to know what we're doing. And it also still does help me kind of think about, I don't have to think about everything in the world to do today. These are a few things. But also, it's just a little less rigid than the individual sheets. So I feel like we're just in a good place planning wise.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how I use the whiteboard too. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of their individual little plan for the day on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. When I did individual plans too.
Yeah.
It felt like a lot of work for me. Yes,
it was a lot of work for me too.
Yeah.
But it was like the path I had to take to get here, I guess,
And
it works for some people really well. So, I mean,
and it's okay to change and you might go back to that someday. for some
I
reason.
feel like,
Yeah.
as soon as we feel like something's going well,
Yeah.
something can very easily disrupt that. So I'm not going to get too comfortable.
Right. For sure.
But I'm enjoying it now.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. How about you? What's going well for you, Angela?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of an update. I think at the beginning of the year, I mentioned our chore situation was going to change for this year.
Okay. Yes.
So in all the previous years, chores are a big deal at our house, which I'm sure that's the case for most homeschoolers, most of you. And it's really important to my husband. It's important to me. And then it's like 10 times more important to him.
Yeah. Wow.
That our kids have chores and they work hard and, those are priorities. And so because they're such a priority in the past, we have done them right away in the morning. And I realized that was taking up like a lot of our day because nobody likes to do them. And so they're kind of dragging their feet through these chores, it's not going quickly. And I had this like aha moment this summer when I was thinking about chores that, we're not going to do those in the morning anymore. Like that cannot be the priority because it's still a priority, but it can't be the first thing we do.
Right.
Because it takes so much time and then we don't get to other stuff. And so,
and it's hard to start the day out with something you don't want to do.
For sure. I know. Yeah. I don't know why this took me so long to figure out, but anyway, and because my husband is so into it, I thought I'm going to just give this to him and he can do it with them on the nights and weekends. And then I don't even have to worry about it.
So wise.
So I just have to tell you that's going really well. It's going awesome. I love it so much because I am not fighting with anybody about chores. And they're not like really fighting about it either. It's more of now what we're doing is it's more of a, okay, hey, everybody, today we're going to do some chores. And it's not like assigning chores as much.
Yeah.
It's more of like, hey, we need the kitchen clean. Everybody in here, we're gonna work on this together.
Right.
Or sometime today, can you do this and this? And then they usually do them. I feel like when it's looming overhead as something you have to do that day or that week, it's just not fun. So like,
so good.
I don't know.
That's
it's
so
kind
true.
of working to do it a little bit more spontaneously.
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm loving that.
Yeah, they're never thinking, oh my goodness, as soon as the clock turns 5 o'clock, we're...
Yeah.
I love that. I have found that Sean also will think of things that the kids need to do on the weekends. And somehow it's just like he creates this culture of, everybody's in it. Everybody's super into it. Well, more than when I am, for some reason, when I'm in charge of the chores or whatever. And maybe it's just because, when we do chores at home every day, it's just, the same old chore, whatever. It's like not exciting. But Sean gets him like he's like a coach in a, in a game and everybody's on board and they get it done. And so I love that.
That's awesome.
Too. That, that can happen without you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I just love that, like, I don't know why I didn't think to delegate the thing to him that he's really passionate about.
Yes.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense.
It totally does. And he probably just feels really involved and accomplished too.
Yeah. Because his thing that he's really passionate about, he's making sure it gets done.
Yes.
He's not wondering if I'm doing it or they're doing it. Yeah. He's actually seeing it get done. So.
So great.
Yeah. Okay.
So great. I love it.
Maren, what needs tweaking for you?
Okay. Well, so there's a couple things.
Yeah. Well, there always are.
I know. I'm going to whittle it down. No. Number one, I am feeling like I need, just recently especially, I need more time to, I really just want more time to get some work done is what it is. And I feel like lots of parents can probably relate to this if you're working at home or if you're just trying to get things done around your house. I need to maybe carve out some more time just for me to get some things done.
Yep.
And so I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like in the future. If it means our kids need to go somewhere, sign up for some homeschool thing where they're away from me for, just like a half a day would be great.
Yeah.
A half a day a week would be super awesome, ideally. But,
yeah,
in a perfect world.
That would be amazing. If you find something, let me know.
I will. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I know. So I'm just trying to think of what that could be. I mean, I know there's lots of things out there. And then the tricky part about that is, for my older kids, there are these couple of things I could do. And for my younger kids, these couple of things. And so they don't always line up.
No.
So
it's tricky.
Who knows?
It's tricky.
This
is one thing that I just wish there were more options for homeschoolers.
I know.
I wish there were, and I feel like someday there will be. Like in 20 years, we're going to be like, when I was homeschooling, we didn't have that, Hopefully there'll be like classes and activities and fun stuff that your kids can do during the day. And
totally.
Yeah.
I loved, I mean, there are the school kind of homeschool thing that we used to do, which is our kids used to go to school a few days a week and then we're home a few days a week, was great. But I would, if it could just be like more on the home end where they're home most of the time and they just go there a little bit,
like
or
one day,
a little less,
one day or
sure.
2 mornings.
Right. So I agree. I think in the future there are going to be lots more options like that.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Not even just for our sake, but for
everybody.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing is just because of our daylight savings probably and it being so dark here and cold, I am feeling so tired a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I think it really something switched, especially this year when the clocks went back.
Yeah.
So I am still catching up. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Are you? You're probably fine.
No. No, I think winter is a tough time for me, and that's kind of what needs tweaking for me too.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like it's tough, and you only have a certain amount of daylight, especially where we live. And getting it in, and it's cold out. It's just
right.
I don't know. It is really tricky. It's really tricky.
It's interesting, and I don't know why this year. Maybe I'm surprised every year, and I just forget how this goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like for this year specifically, maybe because it got cold really quickly here too, and suddenly we couldn't do all the things outside all day long that we love doing.
Right.
Very quickly. Abruptly.
Very quickly. Yeah, I was gonna say this is what needs tweaking for me is this between season thing of getting outside between the seasons is hard for me.
Yeah. Like
summer is great, and then when the first cold snap comes, but it's not snowing.
Yes, totally agree.
I know I can still do the same things outside that I did in the summer. I know I can. I know I can go for a walk. I know I can go hiking. I know my kids can do all their same things outside, like scootering and playing on the swing and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not appealing.
Right.
It's not appealing.
Because there is something very psychological, I think, to where we're living, especially, that when it gets this cold, if there is snow on the ground, totally fine.
Yes.
In 20 degrees, I'm fine with it going outside. If there's snow.
Right.
It feels like a winter wonderland. But if it's 20 degrees and just like brown, it just seems wrong. It seems too cold.
And it's so cold that you're like, am I going to put my snow pants on? There's no snow, but it's really cold. Okay.
Right.
I guess I'll put my snow pants on and go for a walk.
Or we could just watch a movie. Let's just watch a movie.
I know, and that's a problem.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. This is what's hard for me. I need to, and then I also feel like I'm just waiting for it to snow, because as soon as it snows, then we can like get on with winter. Okay, now winter is going to be us getting outside in our snow pants every day.
Oh my gosh.
But so I'm just like waiting for that, because I don't like, this time is like me making a new plan that's only going to last for a few days, maybe weeks.
Right.
I don't know how long this new plan's going to last.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. It's really hard. I'm not getting outside as much as I should be.
I know. And I just know psychologically how much happier I am when I'm outside.
I know.
So if I could just get myself out there, even if it's cold, afterwards, there are so many good effects. But it's just getting out there.
For sure. And sometimes I tell myself, like, okay, you don't have to go very long. Just go out for 20 minutes. And that's great. Yeah. That's great. Except it's only 20 minutes. When it used to be, I would be outside for hours.
Oh yeah.
So
totally.
it is a shift.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's hard.
And yeah, it's so true. Have you ever gotten or have you ever heard of a happy lamp?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have one, but I would consider it.
I'm thinking about that's one thing that's on my Cyber Monday list, actually.
Really?
I was going to get that for my shop.
Does he want one? Or
I think he would love it.
He would love it if he knew about it. And then you could just borrow it.
Well, actually, we should probably get two. One for his office and one for home.
Yeah.
Because, I think he really gets affected too.
Yeah.
You know, the seasonal affective disorder or whatever. So I think we all could really get on board with that.
Right. So just get it for him. That's fine. That's fine.
Now you can see where my Christmas shopping goes for him. But honestly, he's so hard to buy for.
Oh yeah.
If you've listened to this podcast, in years past, it's like very difficult to buy for him. So I just get stuff for myself. Anyway,
if he would just tell you what he wanted, it wouldn't have to be like this.
He doesn't. The problem is he doesn't want anything. He doesn't want anything.
Yeah.
So So I just have to get stuff for myself.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
How is your self-care going? I know we already kind of talked about it a little bit with getting outside, but anything else to add?
So true. Yes. So, and I talked about this a little bit on Instagram stories in the past couple weeks, but I am counting all of our birthday celebrations, Thanksgiving, Christmas as homeschool.
Yeah. So remind everybody, you've got 4 birthdays.
Yeah. So we have 4 kids right now. They are all having birthdays starting like basically last week and through January 1st.
Yeah.
So, yeah. so then there's all the other holidays in there, and all the other get-togethers. So, if we tried to do like academics in there, or lots of academics, it would just be, I would go insane.
Right.
So I am counting, like we said at the beginning of this podcast, I am counting so many things as learning that a lot of people might not count as learning. But just our everyday, lives, going to the store, counting money, budgeting for presents, all this kind of stuff.
Planning a party.
Yes. Having patience with people in stressful situations.
Yeah.
Planning a party, writing thank you notes, all that kind of stuff. We are counting it all.
Yeah.
And then we're also taking lots of breaks.
Yeah.
And so it's like parties and breaks,
yeah.
Or celebrations, breaks. And that's what we're doing. So, for pretty much any kind of, if we're doing any kind of academics, it's probably going to be in the form of a game, quiet reading time, and apps.
Yeah.
Learning apps. It's just going to be very low key learning.
Right.
So.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And that's self-care for me, but it's also like, I hope I'm teaching self-care to my kids in that way too.
Yeah.
That, when you're in these intense seasons, you don't have to keep going at the pace you've always been going.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense to do it. It's just counterproductive. So.
And it's not healthy.
It's not healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of this thing I just sent to you on Instagram that I actually saw from Vanessa, our friend Vanessa Wright.
Oh yeah.
It's just a quote, and it's from somebody named Karen Brady. The world needs the fully alive, well-rested you, not the exhausted you. Imagine a world where women make rest and rhythm a priority, operate more from their full power.
Gasp.
I know.
That was I know. It's true.
Because
imagine if we all did that.
If you are running like crazy through this whole season, that is not doing anybody any good, you or the people around you.
Exactly. And that really goes for, in any situation. For me as a homeschool mom, for my kids, if they, grow up and become a CEO of a company or something, they need that.
Yeah.
They need to learn that now too.
Right.
Whatever they decide to do, like we all need to learn that. So
We do. It's a good skill to be teaching right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay. And so then within that, this idea of taking care of myself and slowing down a little bit, my husband has been traveling quite a bit. He's going to travel even more, even before Christmas here, before the holidays. So we are going to hire a house cleaner to come, like maybe like just once a month for the next few months over a busy time where he's just not going to be around a ton. So that's just like, we are going to do our normal cleaning up and stuff, but like just like once a month, everything's going to get
nice.
Yeah. And I don't have to worry about that.
You need that.
Because that's not my strong suit either.
No. Delegate out, hire out the things that aren't your strong suit.
Right. Exactly.
You have to do the things that make you shine and the things that you're really good at.
Right.
And it's not cleaning.
It's not. It's really not.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. I have a really hard time even thinking of hiring somebody to come and clean our house. I mean, because to me, it's just really hard for me psychologically to get over that for some reason.
I have done that lots in the past. We're not doing it right now, but you cannot think that way. Mm-hmm. You hire lots of people for lots of things.
I know, you're right.
You hire people to cut your hair. It's not your skill set. You hire people to
Good point.
You
Good
hire
point.
somebody to go shop for your groceries and bring them home on Instacart.
So true.
Not you necessarily. I'm not saying you,
We
but
all
like
do-
we
a lot of
all
people
we
do.
all
Yeah,
hire
yeah.
people to do certain things. And
No, you're so true. You're so right.
and I feel like it's kind of a cultural thing here to not be for that to be kind of taboo.
Yeah.
And
so
it
true.
shouldn't be.
Right. And it is, and I also just need to think about it like it's freeing me up to do a lot of other great things that I enjoy and that I'm better at and that is going to like give me life more. So
Right. That's what Sean says a lot, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Your
he-
husband. That
he
reminds me of
definitely
Sean. Like you need to be freed
Yeah.
up to do the things that give you
Right.
life. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's so great.
All right. So how about you, Angela? How's your self-care going?
Okay, so I already talked about how getting outside is kind of a problem. That was kind of a big
Yes.
thing. I'm going to be working on that. I would say everything I said last month about self-care is still going well. Like I'm doing well at giving myself breaks and taking more time for reading. Another thing that I'm going to be changing that I just started a couple days ago is I'm going to try and spend less time on my phone.
Good. Yeah.
I tried to do the screen time thing on the Apple phones on my phone. Do you do that on your phone?
I haven't set limits for myself at all. But I know Sean does. My husband
Oh, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a little confused by it because you can't set limits for specific apps, but you just categories of apps.
Right.
And so I feel like if I want to spend less time on Instagram, for example, you can't just limit your time on Instagram.
Right.
You have to limit your time on like
social
a
media.
whole. Yeah, and then that includes like some things that I want to do that I'm not trying to limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
For sure.
So I'm hoping it gets better. So but I did just start that a couple days ago. And what's good is I have to click an extra button that I want more time.
Yep.
Which causes me to think like, do I really want to be doing this?
It is so good. Yeah. That is so true. I should do that too.
Yeah. So I am, or maybe there's a specific app for Instagram to limit your time on Instagram. There probably is. If somebody has one, let me know.
You know what? Actually, I think there's a way around that. I just thought of it. There's another section. So right after app limits, there's something that says always allowed. So you can add in there which apps do you always want to allow. And so those will never that will, I think they won't add up maybe as your time. I don't know.
Okay.
So like on my kids' iPads, I always allow, I have, Audible and their spelling apps and things like that. So
yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to play around a little bit more with that.
Yeah.
But I think I just pick up my phone too much just as just as a habit. It's just become a habit.
Yeah.
And I need to stop doing that. I need to set a better example for my kids, especially. So
yeah.
And with that, like even in the last 2 days, I've done more reading because I haven't picked up my phone. I know, because I've been like, oh, I'm not going to pick that up. So what can I do for 5 minutes while I'm waiting
Yeah.
for this? Oh, I'll read.
Yeah,
So
that's so good.
ask me next month how that's going, because I
When
need some
you-
accountability.
Yeah. Do you read mostly on your Kindle?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
great.
like reading a book, a paper book. I
Mhm.
like reading a paper book, but I can't do it at night because Jeremy
Yeah.
and I sleep together. So he needs the lights off. And so
Yeah,
I have
of
to have the
course.
Kindle at night. And so sometimes I have like a paper book going that I only read during the day and then a Kindle book at night, and that can get a little confusing, but I like reading paper books. I just mostly do Kindle.
Yeah.
The Kindle
I was-
Paperwhite.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yep. I also like to read on my Kindle.
Do you?
So.
How come?
But like I said, mainly because I don't feel overwhelmed by a whole book. When I read in a whole book, I think, oh my gosh, I have 450 pages to go.
Yeah,
I'm never going to finish this. Forget it.
Yeah.
But when I'm on a Kindle, I'll just like, oh, look I'll just read this one page, or, oh, maybe one more. Oh,
Yeah.
One more. And then,
Yeah.
it's just like one page at a time for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on to our question?
Yes.
Okay. So we got this great question from Erin, our listener, Erin. And she, we were thinking about it, replying to her, and it's such a good question that we thought, let's put this on our November check-in. So
Yes.
a friend and I were talking yesterday about a homeschooling problem that we're both having, and I would love to hear your thoughts, tips, advice on it. The issue is how to handle non-routine days. For example, grandma in town, a kid's birthday, or even workers in the house for a few days, just to name a few that I've dealt with or are dealing with in the near future. I find that when I cancel school because of something fun like a birthday or family in town, we end up having a very frustrating day with claims of boredom and extra sibling bickering. When I try to stick to school, it doesn't feel right because it should be a fun day. Or in the case of workers, it's just hard for everyone to focus. Do you have any thoughts? And do you have a past episode that addresses this kind of thing? Not really. So we're going to talk about it here. Yep. And I just have to say, when I got that message, I had some workers in the house when I was reading it. And I was like, I can't reply right now because I've got these workers who are like kind of hanging out in my kitchen, and it's just awkward. I can't really think straight.
So you could relate.
So I could relate. Oh yeah, I can relate to the whole question.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, what?
Totally. I mean, I think this is perfect timing too, because we're rolling into this season of non-routine. I mean, it could be for a lot of people.
Right.
With our holidays. So, I mean, I just think my first thought was, I would like to have our regular days be not super intense, so that when we don't have a regular day, it's not like a huge discrepancy. You know what I mean? I mean, I just think I like to kind of run more of a relaxed homeschool, so that when it's a relaxed day, it's like not a big deal. And I know that's probably more ideal than realistic, maybe. So I don't know if that's the best advice, but that was just my first thought. Right.
That when you have like a kid's birthday or grandma in town, it doesn't look that different from your regular day anyway.
It might not necessarily. I mean, that's one reason why, I started homeschooling in the first place, was this, I think school itself is maybe just a bit too intense sometimes. The whole day of socially, academically, just,
yeah.
I mean, so many things are just very intense. So, I mean, I guess we have just a little more relaxed days in all those kind of aspects. And so if there's a day where we just, even if we've decided to not school this week, it's Thanksgiving week, we're not going to have school this week, we're not going to do academics, then our kids aren't, they're not like flailing around wondering, what am I going to do today? We don't have school. What are we going to do? Like they already have been in the routine of finding things to do because we have less to do on most days. You know what I mean? And so that's why, like when I see, I do notice like on Facebook when there are families who do go to school and they come and then they have a week off and they're like, what am I doing with my kids this week? This is, I'm going crazy with all my kids at home, which I can relate to, because if they're intensely, busy every day and then they come home, there's nothing,
It's a huge discrepancy between the days. It's
right.
One
it may
extreme
look
to
like
another.
There's nothing to do. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just hard to adjust those schedules. That's just a huge adjustment. So I guess ideally you wouldn't have to adjust that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great advice. And I was kind of thinking along the same lines a little bit when we have a special day like a birthday or grandma or even workers in the house, which I feels like a different category altogether because it's so annoying to have workers in the house.
Oh,
I just
gosh.
I feel so awkward. That's probably me.
Yep.
But anyway, I try and keep our routine the same.
Yeah.
But maybe we're just not doing some academics. So
sure.
If the excitement of the day is not starting until 10 or 11 or noon, we still do our morning thing that we always do.
Right.
Somewhat try and keep that. Or if the excitement is happening in the morning, I still try and do our regular, now it's rest time and you guys know what you do for that time in the afternoon. Or like I try and incorporate grandma into that. Now I don't mean like I don't usually try and we're still doing school even though grandma's here.
Right.
But I try and like having grandma here is just a fun thing. I don't know. A fun thing to add to it's just a fun thing to add to the day even though we're still in our same routine.
Sure. Like it could even be something on the board, like we were talking about on the whiteboard here. We're going to do our, our morning routine. Then grandma comes and, it's just part of our day.
Yeah. And now I can say that because our grandmas come for like the day or a couple hours. I know some people have grandmas who come for a week or a couple weeks because they might live far away. And so that I feel like is different.
Well, I love the idea though of incorporating grandma into your routine. So you could say, well, for our morning routine, grandma could help with the morning routine, getting breakfast or all those things. So it could be just like you inviting whatever is going on in whoever's coming over, whatever, into your normal routine, maybe as much as possible too.
Right.
And then also like. I know you don't necessarily want to do school, quote unquote school on those days because that doesn't maybe seem right. But you could say, well, we're still going to do math. We'll just play Monopoly instead or something.
Yeah.
Play a game or something like that. So instead of where you would normally do math, you can just put Monopoly, so there is something there. It's not just this void of nothing and we got to figure out what to do. Right. It's something. It's just not, our regular math or something.
Right. Another thing I've done in the past is if a grandma comes and grandma's good at something, like for example, my mom is really good at sewing.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I've said like, hey, can you do a sewing project with the kids? And then she's excited about that.
What a gift for everybody.
I know. Everybody's excited about that. Everybody is excited about that.
Totally.
Because I think too, when you're visiting a family, like whether you're the grandma or whoever, it can feel a little bit like awkward too. Like, what are we doing? Or how do I fit in? Or like it gives everybody a project to do and everybody's excited. And I think sometimes, people need to, like, sometimes grandmas need to know, we want your expertise.
Right.
We want your knowledge in this area.
Yeah.
And we want to spend time with you in this way.
Right. And I think sometimes grandparents don't want to step on your toes.
Yeah.
And like bring all their, their knitting supplies or whatever.
Yeah.
Presumptively. But if you, maybe they just need an invitation to those things too.
Yeah. Yeah,
for sure. And then I was thinking for, when you have workers in the house, I know this is not possible all the time, but it did make me think of our friend who, her son, followed around the furnace guy the whole time he was in there. But I think I think people who are working in your house may be doing something fascinating that your kids could either watch up close or watch from a distance. Maybe they would even answer some questions that your kids would have, I mean, just think of the like real life learning experience. It could possibly be in,
Yeah.
If it were the
I
right
mean, that
situation.
has happened in my house before. Lots.
Mhm.
Lots of questions, and sometimes they're open to it and sometimes they're not.
Yeah, right. It totally depends on the person.
But, sometimes too, like you were saying earlier, you just got to get out of the house too sometimes. If you can leave them.
Oh my goodness.
Or sometimes you just got to do something totally different. Like, you know what, we can't be in the kitchen right now, or there's a loud noise happening upstairs. So we're all just going to go downstairs and watch a movie.
The great news, it's not like, in a formal school situation. I just remember one year I was teaching and they were adding on to the school right outside of my door and behind my wall.
Yeah.
The wall that was connected to my room.
Yeah.
They were building a whole new building right there. I mean, it was a tough situation because that had to happen. Number one, there's just like no way to not work during the school hours. And then number two, learning had to happen because I had, state standards to meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't necessarily have those strict expectations. So we get to decide what happens. Maybe you need to go to a movie that day or go to a museum or whatever. So
Yeah. I don't know if that helped, but great question, Erin.
I hope it helped.
Yeah.
I hope. But if anybody else has any other great tips or ideas for Erin or all of us, because I'm sure we could all use them, we would love to hear you. So if you, find us on Instagram and you can DM us, that would be great. Or we have a closed Facebook group called Unrefined Homeschoolers. And this would be a great thing to bring up in there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's move on to loving this week.
Yes. What are you loving this week, Angela?
All right, I am loving a Chrome extension. Do you know what that is? For your Chrome.
Generally.
Okay. So for your Chrome browser,
okay,
there's an extension for Facebook called the Newsfeed Eradicator.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
This has changed my life in the last 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
I'm really excited about it. Okay, so when I go on Facebook, so I have to tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook.
I know. Me too.
I love the groups so much.
Yeah.
And I love that you can connect with people in that way. I love most of the groups I'm in. I love our group, Unrefined Homeschoolers.
Yeah.
And I want to check on those groups.
I know.
But I do not want to check all the other things because it's not that I don't want to see what my family and friends are up to. It's just that it is a time suck for me.
Yeah.
It's such a time suck.
Yeah.
And so I was having a problem when I was going on Facebook because I, would look at my notifications for the groups and stuff. But then, I see everything in the newsfeed and I end up scrolling
check on a few things.
And I keep scrolling for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So what this newsfeed eradicator does is it just takes out your newsfeed and it leaves everything else. And in place of your newsfeed, it puts a quote, like a famous quote or something.
Just what I need. That's awesome.
And so I can still see all of my notifications. So I have notifications for our group and things like that. And I can still click on them. I can still then look at our page and look at what everybody's saying. I can go to any group I want. I can go to any person. If I want to check in on a certain friend, I can go to that friend's page. I just don't see a news feed.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And that's what distracts you.
That's the distracting thing.
Yes,
it is. That is so distracting. And so I'm spending way less time on Facebook and only doing the things I want to do, which is so great. I love it so much.
How do you get this Chrome extension?
Well, I'll put a link in the show notes. I heard about this from Tish Oxenrider on her stories one day. A listener told her about it. And so I went and downloaded it, and it's great. It's just so you have to use Chrome.
Yeah, so you can't do it on the app on your phone.
No, but I took the app off my phone.
Okay.
So that's part of my
self-care?
Trying to spend less time on my phone.
That's so
great.
I
took the app off my phone, so I only check on my computer, and I check a couple times a day for those notifications, and it's quick and easy.
Great. I love that.
Love it so much. So I'll put a link if you're interested.
I'm very interested.
Yeah. Maren, what are you loving this week?
All right. So I'm loving a movie that we actually just went to see this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Tuesday here
Yeah.
And so $5 Tuesday movies.
Yeah.
And we're taking it easy this season. So we went to a movie. It's called The Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
Okay.
I loved this movie so much. I had very low expectations for it because it has a very low Rotten Tomato score.
Oh.
It's at 32%.
Oh.
That is not good.
Why is it better than that? Tell us.
So I just thought it was, I loved how it was made. I mean, I think it's rated, I want to say, let me look. Oh, it's only rated PG. I was thinking PG-13 maybe, but it's PG. It's kind of, it's adventurous. It's a little bit scary almost, but not too scary. It's like Harry Potter scary, just enough.
Yep.
But not too much. And so it was great for our kids. And I just thought the graphics, the CGI effects were awesome. I thought the acting was amazing. The storyline actually hooked me, which I wasn't super, expecting that because I know the story of the Nutcracker. And I just thought, where could this go? I don't know. But it was great. And I don't know. I loved all of it. I loved it all from beginning to end.
That's awesome. My kids want to see that one. So no, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
To see it.
It's going to be great for, my 8-year-old, my youngest, loved it. And so I was most worried about her, obviously, with the scariness factor, but it was not too bad. I mean, there are mice in the movie.
That's scary.
So, and the scariest part is probably all these mice like get together and become like one big, the king mouse. So, and with the effects, it was a little bit scary, but not too bad. And so, yeah, I loved it all. I think because I went in with low expectations, just thinking, okay, I'm just going to we just need to go somewhere. Let's just go to this movie. Yeah. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I love the Nutcracker in general. I love enjoying the Nutcracker throughout our Christmas season here. So if the Nutcracker isn't for you, maybe this isn't your movie. I don't know. But yeah, if you do like the Nutcracker, I think you're gonna love this movie.
Awesome.
And I'd love to hear from you if you have seen it and what you think.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for listening. You can connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. We also have that closed Facebook group, Unrefined Homeschoolers. We'd love to have you there. We do have a website, homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links to everything that we talked about. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.